Chloé, Cunha.
Hey, fantastic to be here. Let's dive right in. Who here likes poetry? All right, cool. Here's a haiku about my clitoris. My clit's a hacky sack. Hipsters love to play with it, but don't know how. Based off a true story, and now I'm gay. How are you feeling? Fun. It's true, I am a gay. I enjoy it. Thank you. Yeah, it's a fun time. I enjoy it quite a lot. I'm actually from Cambridge, which is pretty cool. And thank you. Cool. And they do a really cool thing in Cambridge, actually, for Pride Month, for the month of June, right? My favorite month, good month. They do a really cool thing in Cambridge. I don't know if you've noticed this, or maybe they do this where you're from, but for Pride Month in Cambridge, they paint the crosswalks rainbow colors. Yeah, it's cool, right? It's like the floor is lava for homophobes. One wrong step, you get whisked straight to hell. Pack of rabid unicorns. I'll be forced to bake gay wedding cakes for all eternity. Spooky. You burn the cake every time. Hot down there. It's warm. That's the worst part about being in hell is you don't get to enjoy the punishment cakes. I'm thankful that I have supportive parents. It's very cool. My mom is very cool. My mom is French, actually. She grew up in Paris in the 70s. So she's got a lot of fun stories. Yes. Here's an example. This one time I was in the kitchen with her and she was cooking and she had this beautiful look on her face, really lovely smile, just lit up her whole face. And I said, Maman, Maman. That means mom in French. This is an educational show. I said, Maman, what's this beautiful look on your face? Why are you smiling like that? What's this beautiful look? And she said, oh, I was just thinking of this time. I was cooking with some friends. We were making pasta, you know. And my friend Antoine, he took off his shirt. My friend Marie, she took off her shirt. And my friend Joseph, he took off his shirt. And I took off my shirt. And we all had sex. It was great. Wait, what? No! Oh my God! Whoa, back up! Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you got invited to a dinner party in Paris in the 70s, it might become an orgy. Which I'm okay with in theory, you know, putting aside the my mom part. In theory, right? If every time I got invited to a dinner party, happens so often, if every time I got invited to a dinner party, it maybe potentially became an orgy, okay, in theory with that. In practice, have a few questions, right? Notably, who's going to be there? As I established, I don't have sexual relations with menfolk, but I'm not rude about it. I can have sex beside a man, it's fine. Doing this thing, just kneeling, you can imagine, I don't know. Question. Right, it's an orgy. You don't have to hook up with everybody there. It's like a buffet. You eat what you want. That being said, though, some of my guy friends I'd feel more comfortable next to at an orgy than others. Like, yes, Bob, we're good friends, but are we orgy-adjacent friends? That's a high level of friendship right there. Pretty spicy level of friendship. It's fun. Speaking of spice, I'm pretty vanilla myself. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell. I am pretty vanilla. Oh, this is a fun fact about vanilla, the flavor. Yeah, I told you, it's an educational show. This is a fun fact about vanilla, is that what we now know of as that flavor is actually an extract, right? That's what you, oh, yeah. Congratulations. Too much vanilla. Drunk off vanilla. No. But no, it's true. It's an extract. So, and the original historical flavor is much more powerful, like intense flavor, right? And what we now know is it's more of an extract. That's what we are familiar with now. Which, incidentally, intense vanilla, my favorite sex position. It's a lot of eye contact. So I have a girlfriend. Sorry, ladies. I know you all were wondering, ooh, that slice of milk? Yeah. Spoken for. Yeah, it's true. We're in love. It's gross, whatever. We have conversations, right, as people in love do, ideally. I don't know, not always. Ideally. But we do, and this one time we were talking about objectification, right, to women in a relationship. It might come up, right? And we concluded, actually, that we were both okay being objectified, but only by each other. Right? It's kind of a fun loophole, right? Which is why now I call her my little space heater. Yeah, because she keeps me warm. It's nice. And if I don't pay enough attention to her, she might start a fire. And she calls me her haunted doll. I'm very pale. And I stare at her when she sleeps. She likes it. She's into spooky things. So. A lot of skulls in her apartment. It's a fun time. It's magical. They're animal skulls. I feel like I should specify animal, not human. I don't think she killed them. Okay, let's move on. We're in love. It's fun. Speaking of sexy things, though, I went to my cousin's bachelorette party not too long ago. We had a real fun time. We went to New Orleans. We went to a strip club. It was a male strip club because, again, gay, but a team player. Right? I touched a man's bare torso. I was like, my work here is done. Slippery. He was sweating a lot, like a sexy baby seal. He was working. My cousin got a lap dance from a man named Temptation. Yeah, that's a Christian name. My favorite was Sodomy. Talented dancer. Burned the whole house down. Yeah, I told that joke in Texas once and they didn't like it. No. They did not like that in Texas. It was fun. Much respect to everybody in the service industry, though. I used to be a bartender. I loved it a lot. I actually enjoyed it. Tip your bartender. It's very important. But I like bartending a lot. One thing, though, about bartending is, sometimes you come home late, right, if you have to close the bar. So I remember this one time, such an occasion, I was walking home. It was real late. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I was walking home, and this guy rolled up next to me in his car. And he rolled down his window, and he goes, "I hope you have a safe walk home." Yeah, it freaked me out too. What the hell? But I think I know what happened, right? I actually think this guy was genuinely well-meaning. I think he really meaned well, right? Because this was right when Me Too was starting. Remember that? And now everything's fine? We fixed it. It was right when it was starting, and I just pictured this guy getting real hyped up on Jezebel articles, like, I'm gonna make a woman feel safe today! To the Justice Mobile! He tried. It was well-meaning. Yeah, he tried. He was well-meaning. Oh, boy. Yeah, I might lose you all with this one. But stay on board. But I genuinely believe handjobs underrated. Underrated. The hand as a sexual organ in general, phenomenal. I know that I see some skepticism. You're all like, Chloe, I don't know. Don't worry, I can explain. I'll explain it for you, don't worry. First point of order, hand comes in every gender. That's progressive. Right, it's important. Sex. Second thing, right? The hand is versatile. You can move it around. You can make different shapes. It's fun. Balloon animals. I don't know. Right, as opposed to the this is fun too for some people, but it's like and that's it. So it's the one. Maybe it curves, but whatever. But this you can curve in any direction. It's like a sexual skeleton key. It's fun. But the third most important point. We're all drinking here tonight. Never heard of whiskey fingers, have you? In fact, they use fingers to measure how much whiskey you want. 2 fingers? Yes, please. 3 fingers? Ooh, okay. Sure. A whole fist of whiskey! Better bring the ice. Don't drive after. That's fun. Oh boy. I don't know. I think going back to the man who was shouting at me from the car. I think it's hard generally for guys to find good role models, right? Because I don't know, everybody's terrible apparently. But I think it's hard. I like superheroes. I think they're great. I'm a big fan of superhero movies. I know some famous directors disagree with me. That's fine. But I like them. I think they present a wonderful fantasy world in which men get exposed to dangerous levels of toxicity, and it makes them better people. Nice. All I'm saying is Peter Parker would never send an unsolicited dick pic. But if he did, at least it would be nice because he's a photographer. That joke, if you didn't get it, you probably did, but it tells me. If you didn't get it, is about a feminist topic called toxic masculinity. Perhaps we've heard of it, but don't really know what it means. Don't worry, I can explain it real quick. Here it is. Toxic masculinity is when you get bitten by a radioactive penis, and it turns you into a huge dick. Just saved you a semester at Smith. You're welcome. And thank you very much. Back to Rick. Have a wonderful evening.